I'm
very
not.
first live show I'm doing. I've never done a live one before.
Emma's making her thing, like ambushing people, and
Kind of panicky. Nah.
does this count? I think as long as you and I are both on it, it counts. Yeah, but like, but you can't be pen and paper, and the power app I built that doesn't work. I think I figured it out though. I just haven't had a chance to fix it. So you're at $4. I'm at one. A heart healthy wine.
Hey.
Hey. I love how everybody's webcam is on except for Emma's.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Hi, everybody. It's good to see everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited. I've got a group of really cool people here to hang out with. I'm just going to move my face into the middle of the screen. And that way, you know, we could see everybody. It's like the Brady Bunch grid with everybody. It's actually kind of cool. I like it. So to kick off, I'm going to just do a round of introductions. Y'all know me already, tattooed CRM girl, you know, doing things while being tattooed and having a good time. In my top left corner, I have my bestest pal, good old Mallory, queen of the cats and swearing and not good at hockey. In the top right corner, we've got Dee Dee. Dee Dee, do you want to say hello?
Yeah, hello everybody. So my name is Dilyana, but it's a bit difficult to pronounce, so everybody calls me Didi. I've been a CRM consultant for the past 6 years. Last 1 year has been mainly marketing. So yeah, that's me. I work for Incremental Group, and we're based in Glasgow.
Very cool. And the bottom left corner, I've got my pal, EY, the CRM ninja.
Yo. I should really be wearing the CRM Ninja brand tonight, but
Yeah,
I'm not.
you should be.
I know I really should, but I just came off another call, so I had to dress business-like. Tell me about it. So yeah, I've been playing around with CRM since 4.0. Now moving into Power Platform, talking a little about omnichannel, and spanned across the entire project lifecycle, and really enjoy talking to people about how they individually define the difference between a functional consultant and a technical consultant,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone has a different view of it, and it's really strange.
Pretty much welcome to the Microsoft community, where everyone has a different opinion on pretty much everything. And then, last but absolutely not least, is one of my favorite people. We've got Malin, our talent MVP, the only talent MVP, right?
Yep. Or
Pretty badass.
human resources as it is today, or as next week, or whatever. Before
Very
they change
cool.
their mind again. Hi, Malin. My name is hard to pronounce, but
Turns out I've been pronouncing Malin's name wrong for the last 6 months until she graciously corrected me today. So thank you for that.
Well, most people do pronounce
Yep.
it wrong in some way.
Yep, totally get you. So before we kick off, I kind of want to talk a little bit about an event that the majority of us are going to be attending this year. Unfortunately, our guys on the left-hand side will not be attending Scottish Summit, which I'm sad about. But yes, end of February, we have got the infamous Scottish Summit hosted by the amazing Mark Christie and his gang. And Ian Connolly as well, absolute legend, the two bearded CRM dudes that are fantastic fun and a little bit outrageous. So yeah, I'm going to be going to Scottish Summit. I believe Dee and Malin, you guys are both going to Scottish Summit as well. You're both speaking, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet. So
29th February, Glasgow.
I'm sure Mark
Yay.
has that bed into your head. So Dee, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about?
Yeah, so my session is called Personalize Your Marketing, and it's all to do with all of the cool things we could do with Dynamics 365 for marketing, and how we can use it to target the right people so that we make everybody happy and we don't offend somebody by suggesting something they absolutely hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so quite a lot of cool things coming up.
Awesome. And Malin, what are you going to be talking about?
HR killed talent.
No. Didn't see that coming. Very cool.
You know.
I'm stoked as well. I will be there. I'll be talking about the infamous imposter syndrome, something that I pretty much talk about all the time. So it's going to be a great event. If you are in the Scotland or just in the general UK area, I definitely recommend checking it out. It is now sold out, I believe. So you can get on the waiting list. There's going to be 900 people there. It's like one of the biggest events in the Microsoft community. It's really, really cool. So super excited about that. Okay, so today on our live chat career development series that we've been doing, we're actually going to be talking about functional consulting, which is something that I think I kind of have a bit of experience in, and you four all have a decent amount of experience in being functional consultant or have been a functional consultant. So in your own words, and I'm going to start with Mallory, how would you define what a functional consultant is based on your experience?
Can I pass?
Yes.
Also, you didn't let me introduce myself.
Well, I did. I introduced you for you. You're
Yeah,
here
you
in
say
all
what
my
I
streams.
do, where I work. It's fine.
Oh, you can go. You can introduce yourself. I'll allow you.
That's fine. I don't know. I kind of define it as I didn't even think about the difference between functional and technical. It's customization and configuration that doesn't require code, I guess.
Yeah.
Additional
Code.
development is how I think of it based on what I've done in my experience.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that for sure.
Grayer line now that there are more tools for us to use.
Right. Do you think, like, since we've got the no-code, low-code platform now, that it's kind of become a little bit more blurred, or the roles have become a bit more blurred?
No, roles I don't think have become more blurred. There's just more that we can do without having to go to someone that can write, JavaScript or, traditional code plugins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years, and the difference in 5 years is crazy. Just in what I can do from I don't know how to write code.
Right.
Start Visual Studio, end of process.
It's a pretty logo when starting it up.
That's true. That's very,
like
very
the
true.
extent of my writing code, I can find JavaScript on Google and plug it into a form because I know how to add it,
things and
to
stuff.
the form. So
sweet.
That's how I think of it based on what I've done.
Yeah. So EY, what would be your opinion of what a function consultant is?
So it really depends on the project, to be honest, because if you've got a really small project, that person needs to have technical knowledge as well. For me, a functional consultant is sort of the main face in interaction with the client. They should be coming from a business analyst style background, really understanding what the client situation is, what the underlying issues or what they're trying to get at, and drawing up the initial specifications and requirements. Having said that, they should have some technical knowledge, at least a minimum, of how the software actually works, and then they can start possibly suggesting how it would go. That's how I would sort of define a functional consultant, but they really are sort of the face of what's going on with the client interactions. They should be sitting there with the client regularly, going to talk to them about what's going on, touch points, all the rest of that.
Yep, gotcha. I would definitely agree with that as well. So Dee, you are currently a functional consultant, correct?
Yes.
And so what does your day-to-day look like?
Right, okay, so I think one of the best definitions I have heard of a functional consultant, and I think it's so broad, is somebody basically who is willing to do whatever is necessary whenever is necessary. Purely because it involves so much, but that's why I love it. It's absolutely amazing. You never, at least in my experience, you never get 2 days that are the same. You go to work and you know for a fact it's going to be so different to yesterday, because for us, so we usually get quite involved in the pre-sale cycle, which means we do quite a lot of demos, and that's fun because demos are fun. It's when you go and show off all of the cool things that
when they work. They're a lot of fun when they work.
We try to make them work. at least in demos.
Right.
They usually stop working afterwards.
You need to make appropriate sacrifices to the demo gods.
Yes.
Just come on,
Damn
everyone
straight.
knows this.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
That's like
Sacrifice
demo
chicken.
101. Oh, wow. Okay, that got dark. And Malin, what would you consider? You're currently head of D365 though at your current company, correct? Right?
Yeah, but I see myself as a functional consultant.
Gotcha.
Because I don't do code, but I love Keith Watling, the amazing guy from England.
Everyone's favorite ginger.
Yeah, awesome guy. And he says that Power Apps is basically just copying and pasting shit into boxes until it works.
He says a lot of stuff like that. Yes.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't charge my laptop. This is great. All right. If you guys want to just continue talking about functional consulting for 5 minutes while I go plug in my laptop, this is the joys of doing things live. We can kind of talk about it. So we have a couple of comments. I don't know if you guys can see the comments on the Mixer website. Now stop laughing at me, Mallory. I can see your face. You're about to cry with tears. So yeah, I would definitely agree with Feed Llama 197. I love this platform. The Power Platform has exponentially expanded the role of a functional consultant with the no-code, low-code movement. Discuss.
True. Yes. True.
Nothing to discuss.
Agreed. Nothing to add.
Because it's, for me, I don't do code, so I can finally do stuff. I could do magic with Power Automate and Power. Yeah.
I mean, it used to be
Power Everything.
So I took my certs when I got hired on 2013, and my main client was on 2011. So everything we wanted to do, like cool, I'd have to go to a developer for.
Hey, PT, thank you for hosting. Really appreciate it. It's good to see you, actually. Really good to see you. Yeah, I'm back. I plugged in. We're not going to die. I don't know how I forgot to do that. um, anybody that says that word is definitely getting
no code thing for me. It kind of works the other way around. So at uni, I did computing science. So I was taught how to write code. So the fact that now we don't have to use code to do all of the things we used to have to write code for is absolutely amazing. It just helps you appreciate what you could do without code now so much more.
Yeah, and especially now with the addition of Flow into our toolbox as well. I mean, for me personally, having been at Click Dimensions for 3 years, a lot of the work that I've done in customizing things and making emails go based on certain things was done through workflows. And we all know workflows have been particularly clunky and, very resource intensive in the past. And I think now as a functional consultant, being able to use Flow as our toolkit has also reduced the amount of times I have to go to somebody more senior, being like, hey, I don't know how to write this workflow, write a plugin. It's even kind of replaced plugins in certain cases as well, which has been really helpful. Super, super cool. So yeah, I think, yep.
Don't you mean Power Automate there?
Whatever. I mean, Flow is the tool on the Power Automate platform, right? Right? So you're not like...
Yes.
I'm gonna go run a Power Automate. I don't care if that's what it's called. I refuse to call it a Power Automate. I'm gonna call it a Flow. I really don't care. Yeah, so I think I definitely...
They used the word Flow at Ignite last week by mistake.
Exactly. So we've got good old Maddie Beard. Hi guys, I think low code has actually helped developers because it's helped non-devs get a better logical understanding. Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I come from, I've got some coding background. I've done like a ton of JavaScript in my past. And so being able to logically explain to people how things work has been really helpful. So I would definitely agree with that too, Matt. Appreciate that. I think I agree with everybody's points. For me, I think a functional consultant is somebody that knows how all the different bits and pieces and components work together. So as a functional consultant, we need to know, what the first party apps are. So you don't want to be building something that already exists, like, use the actual entities. I think that's one thing that I learned the most about being in this job is use the entities that are available to you. Don't recreate the wheel, basically, right? Yeah.
So that will come down for me to knowing the platform and actually knowing some of the tech and what is there. But, you can still write a spec for something and then a technical consultant will pick that up and say, hold on, we've already got that in there and do you want to change the way that you put it and change it into something else?
Yep.
Definitely agree. Shouldn't a developer know that as well?
Yes.
Silence.
Hey, EY, aren't you a developer?
No, I'm not a developer.
I don't know where I got that from. I have no idea. I thought you were a developer, and then I felt bad.
I found it hilarious. I'm thinking to myself, did I mention at all that I'm a developer?
I don't know. You just have that, I know Cody face
about
about
your
you.
resume now.
Emma said I am a developer, therefore... Make it happen.
I get recruiters contacting me on LinkedIn and saying, I've got this dev contract role. Would you be really interested? And I'm like, did you look at my LinkedIn profile?
Yep.
Yes.
Development anywhere?
I know C# anywhere.
Hey, Matt, I'm a big fan of developers. Y'all are able to do magical things. I wasn't derogatory at all. You're wonderful, wonderful human beings.
To be a developer is
hey, there we go.
That's awesome. Especially Mr. Beard over there with Data 8.
Yes, we love you very, very much.
Nope, my brain does not think the way that a developer's brain does. I'm not wired to read and write code.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. I don't know why Catbot did that. I'm sorry, Feed Llama, but for some reason your last comment got struck out by Catbot. It didn't like the C# as a musical note thing for some reason. Which is a great comment. I need to look into why Catbot did that. So the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about was, and again, I think we've kind of covered this a little bit, was in the scope of projects. Where does the functional consultant kind of fit in when it comes to a project? And for me, I think it was the DD. Was it DD that you said they were like, or was it you, Mal, that said they're like the person that's like face to face, or was it EY, or was it Malin? Which one of you said this?
We can all claim it.
I mean,
yeah. So
it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the one that usually goes on sites. What is going on with Catbot? Hold on a second. Catbot's like hating feed llama 197. She's like, no, I know, that's really strange. She doesn't usually do that.
Isn't that Todd?
I think it is. Is that Todd? It is, if I remember correctly. Todd has been banned from my channel. Yeah, so based on my experience, and the friends that I have that are actual functional consultants, they seem to be the ones that actually go into the field and meet with the client face to face and do that kind of the legwork. Is that what you guys would agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I know all of you have been in this position before, right? You've been on site with clients. What's the thing you hate the most about going on site with clients?
We're streaming this live.
Yes, we are streaming this live.
I don't like traveling.
So yes, if you don't like traveling, maybe don't take this job.
No, it depends. So face-to-face interaction is always better. I had that drilled into my head. At my old job, I think in a good way. Anytime you can get face-to-face interaction with your client, it's a good opportunity to build your relationship with them. You can't replicate being in person on the phone. Sometimes you can once you have an established relationship. There's just spending time in person with someone. It's much easier, I think, especially when you're trying to, like, you have a time box window and you're like, we need to get this set of requirements approved, ready to go. Like, we just have to get it done. It's that lock yourselves in a room and just get it done mentality. It's always easier, I think, in person.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So the travel thing is the thing you would like the least. I would agree with that. I obviously have a terrifying fear of flying, yet I fly like 60-70% of the time of the year. I'm always on a plane at some point. I hate the flying thing. I think for me, and this was back when I used to do implementations, I used to do ERP implementations, was that when you would go on site with a client and you'd be frightened that they'd ask you a question that you didn't know the answer to. I was always afraid of not being able to answer every single question. Have you guys ever had that experience?
In the start, but now
Yeah.
I think,
oh yeah,
fuck it, no one knows everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you just answer the correct way, saying, well, I can't tell you that at this moment, but I'll find it.
Yes.
Find it out. I'll write down and find
Mallory,
it
I'm adding to your swear jar, by the way.
What? What'd I do?
You've got $4 in your swear jar.
Wow.
Malin swore, so we're adding $1 to your swear jar.
My name is still spelled wrong.
I know, I'm leaving it wrong. You told me to. We just got a question from Todd, who's crying into his coffee right now. What can developers do more of to make the role of a functional consultant easier? Good question. Todd, you're going to be on my live chat session about developers along with EY.
Yay, I should get a dev t-shirt on for that one, definitely.
Yes. What do you guys think? What can developers do better to help make their job easier?
Just documentation would really make my life easier.
Yes.
Because the biggest one is when people do something and it's probably doing exactly what you have asked them to do at the time, but then 3 months down the line they're on a different project. You don't always have access to them and you can't always go, or even if you do, they don't always remember. You can't remember every single thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
So just documenting things in a way that makes sense when you're doing them, I think would make a huge difference to my life.
Yeah.
It's just a simple thing.
Yeah, and communication. Clear communication, very important. And also, more flipping the question is, what could functional consultants do to make developers better? But don't pester developers 3 or 4 times a day.
They are sensitive creatures.
They're very, it takes them time to get in the zone to code. It's not about the number of lines that you code. It's about the quality of the code for developers. And just understanding, again, as Diddy said, the full documentation of it, and talk to your developer or development team, have either daily stand-up or something that goes on. if there's clear communication, information flows backwards and forwards, and that makes everybody's lives a lot easier, and recognizing what each person is trying to do and accomplish.
They're like skittish cats. You've got to be very slow and gentle with them. Got to gain their trust.
That's true, actually.
Yes. Oh, Matt and Todd are going to beat me next time they see me. All right, cool.
Something else probably is just talk to us if things are difficult to do, because sometimes we can really change what we have asked for, or if it's going to take far too long, we can change the things, we can compromise and work around. So I think just talk to us is basically the main thing.
Yeah, I would always say just like don't assume that the functional consultant has the same level of knowledge as you on the code front. Like don't say some things. You are like small woodland animals. We won't beat you. We just won't write your code.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Skittish cats, you've got to like, gain their trust and throw catnip at them every now and again and let them go wild. It's great. It's great.
I mean, I think it's important to have developers in the initial requirements gathering process, not so much.
Yes.
But before you get too far, you need to bring a developer in to make sure you're not promising, the moon. My favorite saying that I've learned is, champagne taste on a Bud Light budget. Making sure that you can find a happy place for the customer when they want a unicorn and can only afford, a donkey.
So many animal references today.
Yeah, fine.
But Mallory, where would you put then a technical consultant in? Or would you say that the functional is really sort of being technical as well?
I've always kind of worked in a role where I guess I kind of do both in the way that you would define it. So that's how I think it. I take things from, I run, previously I did literally everything but write code. That's a different story. Now, I have more of a dedicated functional technical role where I meet with the client, we hash out acceptance criteria for requirements that they've asked for, prioritize it. I talk with the developers about what we're going to do, and then I pick up items that I can do. There are a couple of us that then pick the items up. So I do still do a lot of the requirements gathering in the BA side as well, which I'm fine with. I like having the context of the customer conversations as I'm working through things. So, yeah. So how you define it is going to be different everywhere you go. So
thank you to Ronald for following, first of all. So when you're like on Mixer, you have to thank your followers, otherwise they get really needy and they don't follow you anymore. That's what I've noticed. So thank you for following, and hello to Skylium. Skylium, are you part of the Microsoft community, or are you just kind of coming to say hey? Yeah, I think our talk about technical versus functional is a very valid point. And Matt just mentioned that they don't actually have functional consultants as an ISV at Data 8, which is really interesting to me. I'm actually really curious as to why you have decided not to do that, or is that just the way the company is laid out? Because obviously at Click Dimensions, we have, I mean, they're not called functional consultants, but essentially are functional consultants. Yes. So yeah, we've talked about where it fits in. I think what I also want to talk a little bit about is, let's say you are new to the Microsoft community, you're really interested in becoming a functional consultant. Where would you guys start? I think, Mallory, you mentioned that it would be like a business, your face every time I say your name. A business analyst position is it's kind of like that would be the entry point to becoming a functional consultant. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah. So Sarah, our good fellow cat lady, Power Cat Power, put together an intro to, I can't remember what exactly it's called. I think you did it too, Emma.
Did I?
Intro to business applications, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a really good primer on, I did it as like a kind of refresher on different roles and everything. I got started working for a partner. I got hired as a consultant in training, and then worked my way up. When I left, I was a consultant level 3. So it's just kind of a job where you do everything. Worked pretty well for me. I got project management experience, requirements gathering, system configuration, working with developers. I had my foot and even end user support. So I kind of had my foot in everything and got to kind of see what I liked. So those are good jobs to go look for. I think if you can find a partner that's, willing to, help you out, take you through the training and learning process. They paid for me to get certified. I had very patient people mentoring me and working with me. And that worked well for me to then figure out what I wanted to do. So
yeah, I would agree with that. Hey, Malin, how did you get started in Dynamics? Actually, I don't think I asked you that question.
I started as a customer.
That's another way to get started.
Yeah. So, awesome. But my background is in marketing, so that was what I was supposed to do when I grew up, and I got sidetracked, and I worked with customer service, and I worked in sales, and I worked in organizing events and all sorts of stuff. So, but then actually the consultant that was our functional consultant from the company, they said, well, have you ever considered becoming a consultant? And I said, well, nope, not really. And the next week, 2 recruiters called me and say, oh, why have you thought about being a consultant? Still haven't, but obviously I was meant to go that way. So I said, well, I'll try it out, and if I don't like it, I could just turn around.
Yep, exactly. Yep. That's exactly it. Yeah. And Dee Dee, what about you? How did you get started as a consultant?
Right, so I started with a different CRM company that wasn't doing anything to do with Dynamics. They had their own CRM system built in-house. So I did that for a bit, and then it was just meant to be. But the fact that I didn't start with Dynamics, I think makes me appreciate so much more what we have now in Incremental, because if you start as a graduate or as associate consultant just now, we have that 8-week training plan where you have a breakdown of tasks that gets you to experience basically everything that you will have to do later on, just in a more controlled way. And you get a buddy, so you get somebody who knows how to do things and what it's like to help you with it. So I think mentors, it's such a big one. Just having somebody
it's huge
to say that it's okay if you don't know things. It's okay if things are difficult. They were difficult for me before, so it's okay if it's difficult for you. So I think just having a structured training and somebody to ask when you have questions is probably the biggest one.
I would agree. So we also have Dynamics Ninja has just joined. Hello, welcome. Todd is actually going to say goodbye. So bye, Todd. Don't cry into your coffee too hard. We still love you.
Bye, Todd.
And we also have Matt as well. Matt actually asked a really, really good question.
Very good question.
I don't know that we're not the wrong roles to ask, but still a really good question. Would you use a feature as soon as it's GA, or would you let it settle and see how it's adopted first, just to the rate that Microsoft drop things or rebrand things, etc., etc.? What would be y'all's opinion of that? It's more so your wheelhouse than mine. It's not really anything I really deal with.
Never start your blog with something name of product.
Very true.
Because they will change it.
Yeah, my business cards say Dynamics 365 consultant.
Yeah.
That's still applicable. I would say that's still. I mean, you think of the likes of poor Flojo and John Flo, those guys.
Flow Jedi, yeah, but Flow still works because you build Flow in Power Automate.
Thank you. Thank you. See,
Although John the
Mallory.
Is now the Power Automate guy, not the Flow guy.
That's true. That's very, very true. So Dynamics Ninja says ongoing production as soon as it goes GA. Felt sorry a few times, but life is cruel. So that's very, very true. Especially if it's like something that's gonna make your team members' lives a lot easier.
Some things you're forced into now too.
True, like unified interface.
Yeah, I don't have good experience with this actually. Current project is government cloud, so we're behind. And my
not quite late. Thanks for the host.
So,
right.
I don't know that I have an opinion on that.
Do you guys have an opinion, DD, EY, on using something that's just come into GA?
I like to try things as soon as they come, and I just you only live once.
Exactly. Yep.
So my comment to that would be, it depends on the client and the situation.
I feel like the answer to every question as a consultant is it depends.
Well, that's of course. That's like our ballpark response. Do you want this? It depends.
Do any of you have that? I know Louise, she has a sticker. She has those "it depends" stickers. I don't know if you've seen those. It's really funny. I love them. I have one of those, and it's great.
What I would say about GA stuff though is, stepping back to the step before, never recommend to a client that they start seriously looking at implementing something that's in public preview or even before in private preview, because you don't know if it's going to be pulled. I was on a project last year in which Microsoft itself was presenting to the client, and they put in something that was private preview. We turned around to the client and said, do you realize how bleeding edge technology that is? You don't know if it's going to be, you're only going to need blood transfusions before you roll it out.
I mean, okay, so Dynamics Ninja says YOLO, and, I don't know if YOLO is a great way to run a client project, but sure, go for it.
If Dynamics Ninja is Ivan, then yeah.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Mike Ox school of thought. Pew 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 pew.
Oh, not quite elite. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. So coming back into the functional consultant situation, one of the things I've noticed recently is how Microsoft are now branching out their learning paths towards specific roles. Have any of you looked at any of those particular? Are they just learning paths or are they exams? They're kind of tailoring the exams for roles now, right?
Go hand in. It's what the exams get you certification titles.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They kind of go like this.
Sales associate, customer service associate. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, that's this week.
That's this week?
Well, they probably change it next week.
That's true. Because they had
so much.
I know, especially with the exams, because they had like MB 900. That's now been depreciated. It's 901 now.
Beta.
Yeah, exactly. That's in beta, isn't it? 901.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See you later, Matt.
I took PL 900 in beta.
Yes. How did that go?
I failed it, but
beta. We're waiting for it to be announced.
It just came out. It's still waiting.
Yeah.
Before that, I hadn't taken a certification since 2015. So.
Yeah, because the last set of exams was like the MB2 700 series, which were like the major ones that everyone did, like customization, configuration. Yeah, they were primarily aimed towards the Dynamics platform and customization and deployment and all that kind of stuff. And I just did MB200, and I think that a lot of the stuff from the old customization configuration stuff kind of transfers across. A lot of it does, as long as you know what's depreciated and what's not. I know, EY, you took MB200 as well recently, didn't you?
I did indeed. I mean, the old style exams, I mean, I think the 715 or the 716, the customization and configuration one is still valid to qualify as Microsoft partner, towards the silver or the gold, because it's still applicable. So I took the 200 recently amongst all the other exams that I've been taking. I feel that Microsoft has really moved on to this role thing, because if you want to go specialized, like you want to do customer service or you want to do sales, you want to know it,
Yeah.
you can't just do it from theory anymore. You need to actually know your stuff in order to take the exam. And in talking to a couple of the Microsoft certified trainers about the exam, there's like Microsoft has jigged it very carefully so that if you've just played around with it a little bit and you've read theory, you'll get just under the pass mark. You have to be really lucky to get above it. But if you know your stuff, you can get somewhat above the pass mark. I mean, they said even they, and some of them have been involved with writing the questions, but they don't think they could get above 900 in a few of them. But it goes to show that you actually really know your stuff, as opposed to before you could get a book, read it for a week, and then pass. So this is now moving more into, I'm a functional consultant. I can tell you about sales. I'm certified for sales or for customer service or field service or Power Platform.
It's not just brain dumps anymore.
Yeah, I think it holds. Yeah, exactly. It holds a lot more weight now as well. And I wrote a blog about the MB200 exam because it is very different to the older exams in many, many ways. But yeah, you're right. You have to actually show that you know what you're doing and you've done some research and stuff. Would you say if you have, let's say we have an individual who is, Dynamics Ninja has scheduled for MB 900. Are you doing MB 900 or 901? Because 900 is depreciated. So I'm curious to see which one you're doing.
Unless you had it booked before.
That's true, unless you had it booked before. That's the fundamentals one, right? There's like omni-channel, all that kind of stuff is in that one. Yeah. How many have you taken, EY? You've taken a few now, haven't you?
I'm smashing through them. Also because when they're in beta, though, you don't know it, but it's a much reduced price if you're one of the first 250 or 300 people to take it.
So okay.
That's why I took 900 PL 900 in beta. I was like, $20 if I fail, who cares?
Oh, so Dynamics Ninja just taking MB 600. What's 600? I'm not familiar with that one.
Isn't that a developer?
Ah,
There's
okay.
another new one in beta that I wanted to look at, but I couldn't find a code for.
Look, there's a Power Platform one, is there?
There's just so many.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I remember back in the day, you just had like 3 of them that you had to do. Now there's like a million. Yeah, would you guys put weight behind doing the exams if you wanted to become a specific functional consultant? So, Didi, have you done the marketing one at all?
Yeah, so last year I did all of the old ones. So I had to do all of the 715, 716, 718, 719.
Yep.
So I did those. And then this year I did, well, not this year, sorry, last year now. I'm still living in 2019, sorry. Yeah, so I did the 201 with 30 hours notice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty sudden. And I did the marketing one. And I actually think the opposite. I think the new ones are much easier than the old ones. I find it. And I think, but maybe just the fact that they give you so much time. You don't really have any time pressure anymore.
No, there's absolutely no time pressure. I think it's like 2.5 hours you get, isn't it?
You need it.
Really? For MB200?
Yep.
I disagree. I disagree. I did mine in 30 minutes, yeah.
How long ago did you guys take it? I know you took it just recently.
Yeah.
Did how long ago did you take yours?
Less than a month and a half ago, just in the end of last year.
They rejigged it in January.
Yes. Yeah, they redid it in January.
I spent just under 2 hours, and I didn't have labs in mind.
Whew.
Yeah, I had labs in mind to do.
Yeah.
Oh. I set a new record for 9. I took 901 on Monday, the beta one. And I don't think I've ever used so long time for any certification.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because the questions are so like specific?
And so some of them were just crazy. Well, I spent half an hour, so I do tend to do mine. My certification lady, she recognized me, even though it was 2 years since the last certification. And then when I come out after half an hour, she was like, well, you certainly live up to your rumor.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you go do them in person?
Yeah.
I prefer it in person as well. Doing proctored exams is way too stressful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because there's always this one idiot coming into the office and just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That ruins everything then.
Yeah.
I do mine from home. So I do the proctored stuff. I haven't been to an exam center in years. And I do it from home in the evening or the weekend, lock myself in a room. And last summer I did 4 exams in a day. I actually just got a hotel room for the day.
Wow.
And put myself away for it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you need to tidy up your house. It's just too much hassle to keep it.
Yeah, I go to an exam center.
Yeah. I've heard too many horror stories of, proctors ending exams prematurely for hearing a cat cry in the background or something, which would be my life, so.
I was thinking about starting a blog on all the not very good proctors who I have had experience with. And then the
That's not a bad idea.
Afterwards. Yeah. At the moment, the newest version of the software causes my mouse to reconfigure.
Oh,
so
God.
I need to get them to, after they've launched the exam on my laptop, I need to get them to reconfigure my mouse again, and then launch it.
Oh, no. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
That's why I go to centers. It's great.
Yeah.
I get to meet people and
not to worry about anything. Yeah.
Yep.
Unless you have 30 hours to pass it, and then you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Well, fair play, and you passed it with 30 hours notice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it again, so.
No, God, no.
I had to.
So you read for 30 hours straight.
Yeah, that's not an easy exam to pass as well. It's a pretty tough exam, so well done. That's awesome to everyone who's passed the 200 exam for sure. So coming back to the functional consultant talk that we're having, so you guys would recommend them taking the MB200 exam, at least the fundamentals exam, I would say, as a functional consultant to have a good overview of everything. Would you guys agree?
Yep.
But then the new, because I took the 900s in August, which was deprecated in December, and now the new 901, and it goes a lot deeper than the 900.
Great, that's awesome.
There were
that's the reason why they changed it. They didn't just update the 900. It's such a change that they actually got rid of the 900 and put in the 901.
That's wild. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So Dynamics Ninja has said that he's actually doing MB600 is the architect exam. So that kind of
I'm intrigued by.
Right. So I guess that kind of goes. It kind of goes to the point. If anybody has a code for that exam, Mallory would love to have one. I think that kind of goes by the whole.
Is that because it's not officially out yet?
So it only launches on Monday, and according to the Microsoft beta blog, which normally has the codes on, there's nothing about it yet. So I'm assuming when it launches, it'll then go on about it.
Makes sense. So it's kind of as though like they're starting to tailor these exams towards these specific roles. So for example, the architect exam. I'm actually really curious to hear more about what is in that exam. Do you guys know?
There's skills measured is out, but there's no learning path yet.
Okay, so it's just, wing it. Good luck to you.
I'll tell you after I take it.
Okay, cool. When are you taking it?
I'm hoping to take it next week at some point.
Cool.
I'm just waiting for them to announce the code so I get the discount.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so Dynamics Ninja is doing it on Monday, so it'll actually be very interesting to hear how people get along with that. That probably isn't something I'm not really interested in being an architect. That just seems like way too many people to manage and deal with, and no, so not for me, for sure.
So the thing about it that actually speaks to me and why I was interested in it is, as a functional consultant, you shouldn't just be looking at the Dynamics exams, because now we have Power Platform and we have Power Apps and Power Automate Flows and some Power BI and all the rest of that. And
yes.
Power Portals. I've never touched those.
No.
You should know more of the capability for it, and as time goes on, I think they're going to move more into that sort of sense of the Power Platform. I mean, I know that last year Charles Lamana was being interviewed and asked if they're going to split out the traditional first-party apps within Dynamics, and he said they're reconfiguring the code base at the moment. It's going to take them 18 to 24 months, but your traditional sales one is going to be an app by itself, and marketing and all the rest of it and all the different entities. So it's really transitioning more into a Power Platform and CDS. So having an understanding of that as a functional consultant should be really key in your mind, I feel.
Right. I think the MB200 exam does a very good job of covering all of that, though, in my opinion.
It does, yes.
Yeah, definitely. So exams are a great way to get into becoming a functional consultant. Do you have like any advice for somebody who's currently like a business analyst or like a junior consultant that wants to become a functional consultant? What advice would you guys give to somebody looking to develop their career a little further?
Find a community.
I think that's the answer to everything, really, isn't it? Yeah, every time we have like, what would be your advice be? Community.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the best. Yeah.
It's like 42.
Yeah, it's the answer to everything.
Is the answer.
Yeah.
I actually have, do any of you have that Power Platform sticker where it's like, wait, what is it? Let me see. It's like, where is it? It's like Power Apps, Power Platform, Power BI, and Flow, Power Automate, like encircled together, and in the middle is like number 42. It's great. It's a good one. No, let me see if I can show you. Hang on. Let's see
Put it
if
up
I
on
can.
Twitter later.
Yeah.
Which one is it? Wait, what? It's that one. Oh, wait. It's like the silvery, shiny one. Yeah, I can't really show you. I can't remember who gave it to me. I want to say it was Rob. Rob with the last name that I can't pronounce. Okay. I think it might have been. Was it Rob? It was Rob. Okay. Yeah. So Politi, is that how you pronounce his last name? Am I butchering his name? God, I just butcher everybody's name. Can't even spell Mallory's name right. Spell it with one L. God damn.
So my advice in somebody transitioning sort of from a traditional BA role more into a functional consultant, get comfortable with project terminology and how to deal with projects, and talk to colleagues already doing that, because as a BA, you're normally away from the client, and you're looking at materials or you're investigating systems. You need to have that interaction with the client, and you need to know how to do it properly.
So are you talking about like getting familiar with like agile methodologies and stuff?
Partially. I mean, you're not going to have agile for everything. A lot of places still like waterfall, or will do sort of a agile approach. But it's number one, knowing how projects are run and the different phases of it, and number two, working on your person-to-person skills. And this isn't just about the tech and not just about the analysis of it, but sort of the more soft skills around things and how to handle situations.
Right. So how would you recommend somebody actually like build up their soft skills? Because it's kind of something that you do on the job, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Talk to people who are doing it already.
True.
Shadowing is huge.
Shadowing.
So I ran my first project 3 months in, and it was a 2011 to 2015 upgrade. God help me. And yeah, I mean, I had no experience. I was working in an animal shelter before I started. No experience with anything, but my boss was like, "You're gonna be the face. We're gonna do it together." And I am here, so I met with her like all the time, and I think that kind of solidified the really great relationship that we have. I just bought Girl Scout cookies from her daughter, even though she hasn't been my boss for like a year and a half. So
what you get? Thin Mints? It's very important.
I ate them all within like 2 seconds. So I had her there to help me. She was a great resource, and made me not run away screaming, because I am very introverted. I'm a lot better than I was 5 years ago. So it's just slowly kind of building up, being able to talk to people, and eventually you can, as you watch other people have the hard conversations with customers, you learn, good things to say and how to handle it.
Yep.
It's not fun.
Yep.
It's not fun.
I would definitely agree with that as well. I also think having a mentor is very important. I know we mentioned that earlier on today, but it's I don't know. I found it difficult to find a mentor sometimes, because I guess that's the nature of my role. I'm in an ISV, so I'm not doing dynamic stuff day in, day out. So for me, it was very difficult to find a mentor. But also, once you find a good base in the community, people are always willing to mentor you and help you out and like just ask questions. Like nobody's gonna think.
Helpful.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Microsoft actually has an app for mentoring.
What? What is this app?
You beat me to it. I'm gonna mention it.
Yeah, it's called Tribute.
How do I find this?
Yes,
Search the
share.
Microsoft Mentor Program. You can sign up as a mentor or as a mentee.
Yep.
Emma, I'm gonna mentor you.
You already do.
Look at that face.
You already do. Let's be real. Microsoft Mentor Pro.
Yeah, it's called Tribute.
It's called what?
Tribute.
Tribute. Like that amazing song.
It took me to a Microsoft military website.
Oh no. All of a sudden, you signed up. You've joined the draft.
Yeah, it's all right. I have my people I can harass. That's mentorship for me. Who can I harass today?
Tribute. Let's see.
So it's not as much used, I think, now, at least. I signed up when it first came out, and I really haven't thought about it for quite some time. But
yeah, I'm gonna
place to start, actually.
Do some research on that. Okay.
They mentioned it at Ignite last week, actually.
Did they really?
And Doug's Raymond, yeah, we were talking about Humans of IT.
Yeah.
Talking about Humans of IT, I was listening in the front row, cheering them on, and they were talking about it and said, look, get out there, get involved in the community, you need help, ask for it, this is a great way to do, sign up. They made people actually sign up there and then.
Right. Oh, that's really cool. So I guess maybe they're relaunching it or something?
Okay. Yeah, there's blog posts under Microsoft Tech Community Humans of IT from ended October.
I just shared in the chat, our chat.
Okay, well, let me grab that real quick. Oh no. Y'all do not want to see that conversation.
What's up, Tanner?
Yes, it was Tanner.
Love that guy.
Yes, he's great. Oh no, it's like mixed my configuration up. So this is it here. So I'll pop that in the mixer chat so we can all have it. Yeah. So we can all take a quick look at that. Awesome. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up our conversation today. Does anybody else have any final things they'd like to talk about or mention about either functional consulting or just their general lives?
Don't be afraid.
Yeah. Don't be afraid, actually. You and I are synced today, Oiwa.
First time we're chatting together. And
yeah, it's awesome. If you want to talk to people or ask a question for anyone, don't be afraid to send a hi on LinkedIn or on Twitter or wherever. Just don't be afraid to contact people, because all of us in the community, most of us love to talk to people.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
I love guiding others and pushing others to do more and learn more, and I know there are a lot of people like me.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, we have all been there, so we know what it feels like.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep. Those hopeless feelings of not knowing who to talk to about something. Then I usually just call Mallory.
Not true.
What do I do, Mallory? I deleted production again. What do I do?
That's something I
another production thing.
Sometimes you don't even need a solution. Sometimes you just need some moral support.
90% of the time is just needing to talk things out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. All right. Well, anybody have any final words before we say goodbye to the wonderful viewers that we've had today? We've had some good questions actually today.
Anyone in the Philadelphia area, come on out to Malvern on Saturday.
Yes, that's true. Power Up Philly will be in Malvern this Saturday. Mallory, what are you speaking on?
Upgrading to UCI with
Kylie. That's right. I am supposed to be speaking on custom controls. We'll see. Still haven't written anything, but we'll see what happens. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's actually another thing as well I'd recommend is attending like the Power Up Saturdays and stuff like that. They're free.
Yeah.
And if you have never been part of this community before and you're interested in becoming part of the community, attend one of those free Saturday events. They don't cost you anything. You usually get a free lunch, and you'll get to actually talk to some people,
Yep.
you know, who can give you some guidance and some direction, which is pretty cool.
Take advantage of the free events.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
actually doing one in Manchester on Thursday. So for the UK people, if you guys are in the Manchester area on Thursday and you want to know more about marketing and St. Valentine's campaign, it's not going to be cheesy, promise.
Oh, why not? That's the perfect time to be cheesy. Yes.
We can make it slightly cheesy.
I'm fine with the cheese.
Yeah.
And if you're in Oslo, we have a full day, Wednesday, the 5th of February.
Oh man, I keep meaning. I swear this year will be the year I'll either go to one in Norway or one in Sweden. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Go spend some time with Sora.
Or both.
Yeah, or both. Hey, Click Dimensions, do you mind sending me to both?
Yeah.
You never know. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. The recording of this will be up on YouTube, hopefully pretty soon, if my recording actually worked correctly this time. Fingers crossed.